girl you like should never break apart your relationships. Unfortunately for many of you, you guys are way too wimpy when it comes to women. You have such little confidence and self-belief that as soon as a girl comes into your life, she becomes your boss. You're not always conscious of this, but let's look at your actions. Typically, you're going to start to make tons of compromises for her. You'll start hanging out with your friends less. You'll stop doing the work that'll help you progress forward. Some examples may include schoolwork, the gym, and your passion projects or hobbies. Typically, your investment in her won't be linear. What I mean by that is your investment in her won't stay consistent. If anything, it'll keep growing. First, you'll hang out with her once a week. Then you'll start hanging out with her twice a week. Then it's 3 times a week. Next thing you know, your whole life revolves around only her. And the question I always have is this: what tangible benefit do you get from any of this? The main thing I want to focus on in this video, though, is how it affects your relationships outside of her. There's this really prevalent idea, especially in Western culture, that when you get a girlfriend, she needs to be the number one woman in your life over your own mother. This idea never really made any sense to me. Your mom is the one who birthed you, fed you, and made sure you are the man who you are today. Maybe I'm old school, but in my mind, there is no woman on earth that could possibly replace your mother. Now, I'm not saying you should be a total mama's boy all the time. What I am saying is this: I personally believe that this is a form of gaslighting that's been allowed to happen for far too long. Too many guys are convinced that a new woman that enters your life is somehow more important than your mother. It makes zero rational sense. Your mom is irreplaceable. Your girlfriend, though, is very replaceable. On what earth does it make sense that your girlfriend feels that she's entitled to you way more than your own mother would be? This level of entitlement is quite frankly greedy and completely out of line. Yet, for some reason, it's totally okay for women to shame guys for being mama's boys. It's entirely normalized, actually. If I had to be honest with you guys, to me it sounds like some form of insecurity or even jealousy. Obviously, there's going to be an army of control freaks that are going to disagree with this opinion, but I don't really care. Now, of course, there are a minority of cases where moms do a really bad job or they leave the kids behind. If that's the case, I understand why a girlfriend would take precedent, but this simply isn't true for most guys. Let's move on to the other type of relationship that your girlfriend can affect. This is the relationship between you and your friends. To paint this picture, I'm going to give you guys a story. An old friend of mine, let's call him Bob, lost a best friend of 15 years because of his girlfriend. For the sake of the story, Bob's old friend is called Mike. Bob and Mike were really close friends throughout elementary school, high school, and even after. Midway through high school, Mike got himself a girlfriend. This girl, however, was a total control freak. She was the type of girl that was constantly on his phone, constantly looking to control his life, and always made her emotions the number one priority. Unfortunately, Mike was really young and he didn't understand how to set up proper boundaries. Despite all this, Bob and Mike still remained friends for a while. Just to paint the picture a little clearer, this exact girl got super excited when Justin Bieber commented on one of her pictures. Pretty classic if you think about it. Anyways, let's fast forward to where the relationship started to become problematic. Bob was the type of guy who believed in freedom and was sometimes a little bit of a loose cannon. Even though he didn't necessarily do things that were completely immoral, Mike's girlfriend still had a problem when they hung out. The main reason was because she couldn't control Mike's behavior when he was around Bob. Until, of course, Mike and his girlfriend got engaged. Bob was set to be Mike's best man. Mike's girlfriend, who is now his fiancée, had a serious problem with this. The problem became so bad, in fact, that she threw down an ultimatum. Unfortunately, Mike was too weak and told Bob that he wasn't invited to the wedding anymore. The worst part about all this is that the reasoning was entirely irrational. She didn't have a solid reason to not like Bob. She claimed to have a bad feeling from him and then manipulated her now fiancé to get rid of Bob. This is what happens, guys, when you don't learn to set proper boundaries early on. The moral of the story is this: a girl shouldn't be the one to break apart your relationships. There's a commonality I want you to pay attention to in both of these types of relationships. The girl isn't getting in the way of these relationships for the guy's benefit. She's creating this chaos for her own benefit. This is a horrible character flaw that a lot of girls have that too many guys overlook. They get too blinded by emotionality and their ideology and they can't see the truth for what it is. As a guy, you always need to be your own judge of people's characters. You can't allow a girl to make these judgments for you. If you allow her to do this all the time, you're no different than just a pet. To put it in slang terms, don't get lost in the sauce. There are tons of external forces that are constantly trying to manipulate you. Corporations, your girlfriend, school, the government, and sometimes even your own parents. To protect yourself and have a space where you can ask the hard questions, you need to join my community. In there, I have weekly private seminars where you can ask any type of question and I'll give you a completely unfiltered answer. In addition to this, you'll learn about making money online, how to dress to impress, how to grow your social media, and much more. Click the link in the description below to learn more. That wraps it up for this video, guys. If you're one of those weak guys that likes to be subservient, don't forget to comment below and tell me how I'm wrong. I'll see you guys next time.